Right about now, we want to have the topic of the day, and today we want to talk about a topic we that is so important to the family and the society at large. We want to talk about the child molester and their grooming tactics, and we have Mrs. Fumilayo Shobanwa in the house who will be doing justice to the topic. Good morning, ma.
Good morning, ma.
Good morning,
sir.
Good morning.
It's nice having you with us.
It's nice having you once again.
It's my pleasure, ma.
All right, let's first of all talk about the word grooming as related to a child molester.
Okay, when we say the word grooming, grooming simply means a term we use in describing the way people who are sexually attracted to children find their way out to win their hearts and also get the trust of their family, that is the family of the children that they want to molest or they want to prey on. And not only young mice, when you talk about young mice, probably like down the lane of 10 years, but as well as younger people like teenagers. So they also do that to prey upon them. And we can easily say grooming is a way of nurturing. Okay, now if I want to plant a flower, definitely I will get a seed. I will plant it for it to germinate. It grows on and on before it gives you what you want. So it's a process. So groomers or child molesters, the word used in catching their prey, in nurturing them, in preparing them ahead, in raping their minds, is what we call grooming.
All right, thank you.
You said it's the tactics they use. So what are some of these tactics, if you had to highlight them so that people will know that, yes, this is the tactics this person is using?
Okay, there are numerous tactics in which groomers they make use of, which I'm going to itemize some. They go a long way in knowing the child's likes and dislikes. What do I know by this? Okay, for instance, you have a child and that child likes, let me just say ice cream or yogurt, a particular brand. Okay, that child, that groomer will go that extra mile in knowing what that child likes. Actually, at first, he or she might not know. Molester or groomers are not limited to male alone. Females can be a groomer or molesters. So they will go extra mile in knowing the child likes. Oh, what does she like? What does he or she like? Okay, when they get to know it, they can trap the child with that thing, with that particular thing. And you know, children, they're easily fascinated and carried away. Like, oh, this uncle likes me, he loves me. Oh, I love this auntie, he always dishes out gifts for me, to me. You understand? And before you know, you see these children following their prey. They don't know that that person is setting trap for them. And when you say dislikes, they will definitely know, okay, once they know the likes, they will know, oh, okay, they will even ask, what do you like? What is it that you don't like? You understand? They will come to the level of that child, and doing that, the child will definitely fall into the trap, and they will win the heart of that child. And another thing again is that they come to the level of that child. As these likes and likes, they are different now. Then coming down to the level of that child, you know, okay, a 7-year-old child can't reason like a 15-year-old child. So definitely the groomer will come to the level of that 7 year. The way it becomes to the level of a 7-year-old child will be different from the another age entirely. So groomers, they do what? They come to the level, they stoop so low so that they can have their way. And another thing is that they will rape the mind of that child. What do I mean by before they have their way, before raping the child itself? Mind before the body. What do I mean by this? That is, they will embrace, they will accommodate the excesses of that child. They won't mind. You know, children, they can be so distraught, sorry for using that word sometimes. When they are in a room, they can scatter everywhere, they will be climbing chair, banging the table. But that groomer will not mind because he or she has a target. So the groomer will do what? We tolerate the excesses. Why? By raping the mind of that child before raping that child. That's another way. Some groomers that carry out their their work face to face, or I should say one-on-one now, because we have two means of grooming. I will tell you later. And one of it is one-on-one. When I say one-on-one, as we are seeing ourselves, you are looking at me, you know me. Before we used to communicate through phone, that's online. Let's say you're a groomer. So I'll call you an online groomer. before I met you one-on-one. Okay, so the one that meets one-on-one, face-to-face, that's what we call physical grooming. But the online is, the other one is online grooming. Now let me talk about the physical one. When I say the physical, seen face-to-face. All right, so those, we are still on the tactics, sorry for debating. So those people, those one-on-one or face-to-face groomers, what they do is that they can go as far as decorating, making their rooms. If they want to make use of their rooms, they can go as far as making the room to look so beautiful. Those children are easily fascinated. They like something that is always eye-catching, colorful, maybe pink, blue, not dull colors. So, for a child they want to pray up, or maybe the child now call me. It can be within the neighborhood, maybe within the house. They say, oh, come in. Put on cartoon for the child. You know, when the child is warmly welcome, the child will feel at home. And before you know, another thing is that, let me join you to the other one. Some go as long as spending on toys. Yes, if they are preying on children that are less than teen age, they get toys. Like, oh, I like this. And you see the groomer play with them. Okay, this is panda. Do you like it? I have another one. I have kangaroo. Kangaroo up. You know, they will just do they will go every possible means in order to get that child. Now back to the room of 18. Some will decorate their room to the taste of children. But whenever adult even gets into the room, they're like, this your room is fine. Why are you a baby? But they don't know the mission behind it. Yes, there is a mission behind that. So the children, and before you know, they would even tell, Mommy, I want to go to uncle's room. I want to go to auntie's room. Why? Because what they are seeing in uncle's or auntie's room is different from what they are seeing in their normal room. And before you know it, they will keep going there, oven and oven. And they won't limit, they won't waste time. Once they've won the heart of that child, before you know, they will have their way. Somebody shared a story, I was not there. The person told me that a guy raped a 2-year-old girl. As in, from same compound, the mother rented a shop in that compound. So because that guy do play with children, they love him. So he was able to play on a 2-year-old child with what, just common banana. Not born, she was just one. And the girl was molested. Before you know, the uncle took another route entirely. The mother was busy gisting outside. No, believing that she was with uncle. And before you know, when it was later that, where is my angel? So, and she saw the girl as in staggering, you understand, being defiled. But thank God the little baby was able to express herself and mention the uncle's name. But according to that story that was being told, it died there. Why? Because of the stigma. The mother doesn't want it to go viral. So that they will say this one. Yes, and he died there. They allowed the guy to just go like that. So why? He was able to prey on that little girl because of gifts. Yes, so groomers, they go extra mile in awarding gifts without doing anything. They will just give the child gifts. They will just, okay, thank you, take this 15 naira, use to buy snacks, and they will be happy. Even though before the child even asks next time, they will do more. You understand? So aside from the from the room of 18, I made mention of toys, and another thing is gifts. They dish out gifts, even if they don't have. Once they are in that mood, if the emotion sets in, if they need somebody to pray on, they need kids to pray on, they will go extra mile to get something to win the heart of that child.
So you mentioned an online grooming and the physical grooming. Okay. So tell us about the online grooming.
Okay. The online grooming is the second part of grooming, aside the physical one. And the online grooming is faster and anonymous. It has the two attributes compared to the one-on-one, the physical one. Okay, let me expand more on that. When we say anonymous, when you say, okay, I want to be anonymous. Okay, I'm presenting this gift to the church or God, but I want to be anonymous. You don't want people to know you. Yeah. Just, yes. They're anonymous. Don't want anybody to know your name, to mention your name. So they are anonymous. How are they anonymous? Okay, children of nowadays, they have access to gadgets. Most, as a parent, don't mind giving their children a gadget. Okay, have it. And it's good, but it has its own disadvantage. In fact, the bad it does is more than the good, because some people will just give their children gadgets and they don't even know what the child is exploring or doing online. They don't know whom they are communicating with online. So, okay, like the online groomers now, do you know what they do? They can change their profile. Okay, now you go to my social media handles. I have my real name, my real pictures. But do you know what groomers do? They will use different kind of images that might even be different from their own images. It might be another person entirely that they've not even come across. You know, they can easily access another person's pictures online.
Yeah.
Yes, and they will now make the relationship so keen to the extent that that's how it's common to teenagers. No, most of them, some of them have access to all these gadgets. So they will do what? They will win the heart of that child to the barest minimum. To the end that they will even try them. You don't need to tell anybody. You understand? They don't tell anybody. We are friends. You don't need to do this. You don't need to let anybody know that you are chatting with them. Even though they might even create a chat room. You understand? Where they will pile up those kids they want to molest. You understand? They will make them feel comfortable. They will make them feel at home. So online groomers are fast and they are always anonymous. And do you know that when the unlike what's it called, the physical one-on-one, face-to-face groomers that will still take time, that will still spend their money, those ones they don't spend because they might think, oh, this child might easily get away. I might not have access to her in the next 1 month. Or what if she doesn't have data to subscribe? They will do it fast, that they can bring their what's it called, the person they want to prey on and have their way, then they go.
All right, thank you very much. You've really said lots about the tactics and the types of grooming. I would like you to tell us if there is anything we can understand about how do these molesters, how do they pick their prey? How do they select? Is there any characteristics they see and they say that this one is more vulnerable to the advances or some other things like that?
Okay. Now, let me pick out a pedophile.
Yeah.
When I say pedophile, people misuse the word pedophile. Pedophile are a set of people that that prey on teenagers. Why those people that prey on that teenage period, on that age, as in below teenage, between the age of 9 to 12, they are called pedophiles. And 13 and above, they are called ebibophile. Then below, they are called infantophile. But no, for you to be saying infantophile, if you are not in the field, they're like, what are you saying? So it has been generalized now. Okay, now. So now let me focus on that pedophile. As you said, it's not that they have a specific age. Okay, now I want to ask you a question. Sorry, I want you just to gesticulate. Do you think what is special or what is attractive or attracting in a child of 8 years to a man of 20, 25, 30? There is nothing. Just that it's their way of life. You understand? Just like other people go to their various field of work, they just designated in doing that. Nothing else. There's nothing special in. Okay, now let's leave those people that are even able to express themselves or talk. Okay, what about you, infantophile, 0 to 2 years old, 3 years old? Okay, is it the addressing that you want to tell me that is attracted to the man, or the way they talk, or the way they swing their body? They are innocent. And what's it called, molesters, it's just their way of life. And sometimes they're emotionally unstable. They are psychologically affected. You understand? Just like they are not mentally stable. So it's what they do, and there's no attribute, there's nothing special that is attractive to them from the children, just their way of life.
I know you have said there's nothing attractive to them, but is there any, because we know we have a whole lot of issues on child molestation these days. Yeah. It's rampant. What do you think could have been the cause of this rampant increase every day? I know you have said there's nothing interesting that that attracts these men or these women to underage, but what do you think is the cause of this increase in molestation every day?
Thank you. I like that question. Now I'm going to touch some areas. Let's look at Lagos, for instance. We are over busy. Okay, you see some parents leaving home 5 o'clock, even leaving their child or children to the care of the nannies. Even the children, they know the nannies, the caregiver, more than their parents. Okay, and when you allow what's called strangers to invade your homes more than you, knowing more about your kids more than you do, you know, there's an open door. You are paving ways for molesters. Okay, now some children maybe after school period, driver will pick them up, their parents are still at a workplace. Don't know, the children will eat definitely, and we have to make ends meet. If the parents don't work, how would they feed the children? They have to work. But just that imbalance, as in parents don't balance things, over busyness, as in they don't schedule. Sorry for using that word. Some parents, after the what's it called, working period from Monday to Friday, Saturday again, Owambe, and they will keep the children somewhere else again. And those people they are entrusting those kids to. How well do they know them? You know, I said it the first time I came that these molesters are not written. You can't know them by the facial look. Okay, now you will keep leaving your kids to strangers, to anyhow. You don't know who heals who. Don't you know they are paving ways for molesters? Through that, molesters can penetrate, have their way, and go. The funniest thing, some might not even go. It will continue like that. Just like I read it from Punch newspaper some years ago. The girl was 8 years old then, and the parents are career parents. They were just too busy. So they got her a car personally and assigned a driver to her. So one day in her class, probably children that had undergone sex education, so they were saying that they were talking about sex, body parts, and they were free to say. So the girl was grabbing, but she didn't really understand. So when the driver came to pick her in the afternoon, she told the driver, "Daddy, how is baby made?" That was the question. So the man said, "Don't worry, I will tell you." So when we get home, that was how the man started molesting for good 5 years. For good 5 years, the man molested. It was when the girl got to that 13 years old, probably in Sunday school also, somebody they were nurturing, they're talking about. So it was then she realized that what that man had been engaging her with was what? Total rubbish. And the man was still working with the family and with taking the child home and kept on molesting that girl. Imagine. So parents, I want to chip in this. Parents should just try to have time out of our busy schedule. In fact, I can say parents are the cause, mostly. Parents, yes, we should have time for our parents, and we should give listening ears to our children. In fact, some parents are too strict. Before you even speak to your parents or your dad or your mom, you have to do cross sign. Holy Spirit help me. As in you'll be reciting as if you are going for debate competition. To even speak with them is an issue. Some will even say, "I'm coming, go and meet your mommy, go and tell auntie so. We attend to you." So over busyness. And another thing is that strictness. It's good to be strict, but to the barest minimum. And when your children cannot run to you, who else do you want them to run to? They can easily run to molesters, and molester we embrace them and give them listening ear. And before you know, the work starts and it goes on and on. So that's what I have on that.
All right. Explaining earlier about the tactics of the molester, you mentioned that they do get excess gifts, overcaring for the children. So I want to ask, if somebody overcares for my child, what should I do? I did not really suspect the person, but the person buys gift and try to, make her happy whenever she's around the person. What should I do as a parent?
Nice one. Anybody, as in people can come for visitation and get gifts for your children. Good. But that does not mean that they are molesters. But you cannot even say if they are too. But do you know what? As I said something not quite long now, that being closer to your kids goes a long way. Once the child can express his or herself, is an avenue to ask. It's not that you are too inquisitive. You are just helping out so that you'll be able to know where to come in. You understand? So you can easily ask, "Oh, Papa, Angel, Auntie gave you this. Did you love her?" Probably when they're around, don't let the child be alone with the person. You understand? I'm not saying all people that give out gifts are molesters, no. But just that you have to be very, very sensitive. You have to be very, very sensitive when it comes to this case. So when they give good on neutral ground, but make sure you ask your kids question. Maybe after the person had left, you understand? Oh, you had a nice time with with that person. Oh, hope you like the gift. You understand? You just be using question. Question will be get to a question. As time goes on, if I thought that person is doing it to make an attempt, the child will be able to tell you, even though without you suspecting that person. You understand? That just it.
Okay. The case where there are two cases now where a person can molest a child, and the parents may eventually know at that point in time. This is the first attempt and they found out. And we have had cases where the molestation, like you gave the example, the molestation kept on for years. So how did they get to the point of winning the heart of the child, to the point where they will do those things to the children and the child will not be able to open up to tell their parents? What exactly could they have done at that point that will not make the child to explain to the parent that this is what uncle is doing or auntie is doing to me?
The first thing first is threats. Yes, the threat. There will always be a threat attached to it. They will threat the child. You will like, tell mommy, oh, don't tell anybody. As in, they will have a created fear, let me use that word, in the mind of that child. So that the child will not even be able to tell that damn mommy. You understand? And even the molester might even say, are you not enjoying it? You get, maybe starting from flagrant caressing before penetrating. And let me just chip in this for more additional information. If a person does not have access, as in penetrate a child, you don't call that child a molester. People misinterpret that. Until when penetration is being done, is being carried out, that is where we say a child is being molested. That's what we call child molestation. Good. But before it starts, they will start grooming. That's where this topic comes from. They will groom. So one parent will know that, okay, these are grooming process, so that they will be very, very, very vigilant. So they will threat the child. So that threat will create fear in them. So that it will shut the mouth of that child up. It will take the grace of God for that child to be able to speak out. Probably, maybe watching a TV show. Okay, I would like to cite this example too. It was on Facebook. I came across it. It was a brother to the child's girl. The uncle, an uncle that molested that child. The girl was 7 years old. Yes, it started when she was 5 years. So when the girl was 7 years old, thank God for the mother, they were watching a TV show. Maybe she downloaded, I don't know. They were watching it together. So at the cause of it, the girl was now fidgeting. So the mother observed that, and she was like, what happened? And the girl said, uncle did this to me. Uncle did this to me. The mother said, which uncle? And the funniest thing is that uncle always, as he do come to that house, and the mother always welcome him. Family, blood is thicker than water. Unknowing that uncle was coming for mission, and uncle will even be in the guest room, and the girl will be with him. But it was when they watched that video together that the girl got to know that so what uncle did to me was wrong. So in fact, the mother took a bold step. I love that. When it comes to your children, you don't need to shy away. Don't say family. You have to speak up. Yes, you have to speak up, because we are talking about the minor here. If you allow the major to go set free, what about the impression that has been created to the minor? Don't forget about uncle. Sorry, when it comes to me, I will never tolerate that. When it comes to my children, it takes you 9 months, the journey, the pain, the pushing, nurturing them is not easy. So allowing somebody because his family member, when he was molesting that child, he didn't think it was her blood or his blood, sorry. So the mother called the uncle straight off, and even told the husband when he came back, I don't want to see him here again. So as in, that was the end of it. They even called family meeting. I read it, it was a story on Facebook. Called family meeting. The husband said that is the final. For him to stood so low to molest our own nephew, how much means how much of other people's children. So we just have to be very, very, very close.
All right, let's look at those people that their children had been molested. You mentioned earlier that it is better for them to speak up, which is right. Okay, that child has been molested. What should the parent do to that child? What are the necessary steps that needs to be taken? Okay, in this angle, the very best thing is, some parents will even start scolding the child. Let's assume the child is mature, let's say 13 and above. Some will even say maybe all these are some will say it's because you were walking aimlessly up and down. That was why they will be shifting the blame on the child, forgetting that forgetting the trauma that has been caused on that particular child. So the very best thing, number one thing that we always assure and our assign is that that particular child should be taken for examination in the hospital
first thing first, because you don't know the number of people the molester or children the molester had been preying upon. You don't know if he's having his infection. So take that child for examination first. Health is wealth. And another thing is that when you are now done with that, just try to sit that child down. And if so parents, they don't even know how to start sex education, they should seek for help. And in case the child is behaving abnormal, some will now get withdrawn from things at home, they will feel dejected. In fact, that's not the time to cast blame. It is the best time to talk to them or look for trusted person that can help out in talking to them, in grooming them. Grooming, not aspects of sex education, not aspect of child molestation now. Grooming in general, as nurturing, bring exactly positive way. So by doing this, the child can come to normal and bounce back to his or her normal activities.
All right, thank you for that, Dr. Do you have any question?
And sorry, one more thing is that it's very, very common in this environment. Parents will now keep short, all because they don't want the stigma to linger on. They don't want them to name their children bad name. What is it? I think very best thing, aside the examination and grooming the child now, that person should not be left alone. Because if you are leaving that person alone, you are creating more avenue for the person to go and do more. There are numerous kids out there, so you will just keep praying and going scot-free. So the very best thing is that that person should be arrested. He should be arrested, and he should be reminded. Let him be tortured, you know, so that next time some feel remorseful, unless they are being reprimanded. They don't feel remorseful. They will call. They are not shameful. They are shameless. Shamelessness is their second name. So when they are being reprimanded, no one will just desist from the heart, and they will be living they won't be living the such kind of life again. Rather living a better life. So they should not keep short. They should not keep short, and they should what? Probably call a police on them, and let justice prevail.
Okay, lastly, let me just, for any child that has been molested that is fortunate to be watching this program, I would like you to give your advice to such a child.
Okay, for being molested shouldn't be that you should lose hope, never give up. That does not make you different from your colleague. That does not mean you can't achieve your dream in life. That does not mean that your target, what you aim at becoming, can never be. Don't allow the trauma to set you back, and don't allow it to repeat itself again. Don't be in a lonely place with strangers. Try to dress decently and try to communicate to trusted adults in case your parents are not available. Make researches online on how you can be better and positively affected. Rather you'll be negatively affected before, but now try to bounce back so that thing will not weigh you down. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Shubanwa, for coming on the program, and thank you guys for being part of the program. This is how far we can go on today's program. Don't forget to watch the repeat episode at 9 p.m. tonight, and don't forget to watch fresh episode tomorrow morning. Do have a wonderful day. Bye for now.